Good day, children. Sai Ram. Welcome back to our online class. And today we are going to do our English revision. So, as you all know, our revision week is going on. So, we are getting ready to attend our first semester exam, isn't it? Right? Yes, I know. I'm very sure you all are very smart and you all are preparing your exams very nicely. So this is our last chapter that we are going to revise in the subject English, and the subject is chapter number 7, Marie Curie. And I hope you all remember what is the lesson about, and I'm sure that you are aware of the story and the central idea of the lesson. And so let us do a quick recap, and I'm sure that you must be ready with your English textbook and a pen or a pencil and an eraser. So after doing the revision of the lesson, we will quickly write the answers of some activities that is given in the textbook. So ready, children? So let's begin with a quick recap of the chapter 7, Marie Curie. So do you all remember? Yes. So Marie Curie. So this is a story about Marie Curie and her family, right? So this is a story about Marie Curie and her family. So her parents were teachers, and they made sure the children that they grew up with a respect for education. So they wanted their children to give the respect for the education. So they all sat together and they all did their homework. They are 5 sisters, and Marie Curie was the youngest sister, and Zosia, Bronya, Hila, Zosio, and Manya. Manya is the Marie Curie. So who are the sisters? Zosia, Bronya, Hila, Josio, and Manya. So they were the 5 sisters. So they were the Skłodowska family, right? So next is, so they wanted their children to pay respect for the education. So her mother was the headmistress of Warsaw Girls' School, which was near to their home, which was adjoining to their home. So since she was the headmistress of that school, she was very busy with her work, and she was struggling with the work of running a big household as well as the school. So during those years, the house had many guests. And their family was very big with 5 children, right? So during those days, many guests will be visiting their home very often. So one of the guests was Ladisha's brother. So he came to stay with the ill. He was suffering from some illness, that is, he had tuberculosis. So he came to live with them in their home, and he was suffering from tuberculosis, which was incurable. It was deadly disease, a disease that spreads mainly through the germs infected air, and when somebody who already has the disease coughs or sneezes. So when the person who is having tuberculosis coughs or sneezes, it is easily spreaded. So the other person who is standing nearby, so they also get this disease, right? Okay, so unfortunately, what happened? This disease afflicted Mary's mother. Afflicted means affected. So even Mary's mother, she was affected with tuberculosis. The disease was incurable. so managed by a series of rest and recuperation treatments in places where the climate was not so cold. So as a result, Mary's mother often had to be away from her at a sanatorium. Sanatorium means it is the hospital, a type of hospital. So as a result, she often had to be away at the sanatorium where only Mary's older sister, so who is the oldest sister? Zosia. So she would accompany her mother to stay in the hospital. And Mary's sister Zosia died of typhus. So Mary's sister Zosia, she died out of typhus. It was the greatest tragedy in Mary's life that when she was very young, Mary's mother also died before a few months of her 11th birthday. So Mary's sister Zosia also died, Mary's mother also died. Okay, now the sisters, the remaining sisters, they often played a make-believe game about a genius doctor who finds a miracle cure for a serious illness. So they all like to play these games. So Mary's teacher, now what happens during those days? So Mary's teacher was aware of her flawless grasp of anything that was taught to her. Mary was so intelligent that when she's 3.5 years old, she was reading the book very fluently. So such an intelligent and grasping power she has got. So Mary's teacher was aware of her flawless grasp of anything that was taught to her. So when the inspectors arrived to the school to check the students' knowledge of the Russian language, so they were forced to study the Russian language and history. So Mary Skłodowska was always put forward as the example they interrogated by the inspector. Okay, so she was always asked all the questions. So she has to prepare the answers and she has to answer in the Russian language. So when she graduated from school, at the age of 15, she earned herself a gold medal as the best student. So this is the story of Marie Curie. Now let us quickly start with the activities that is given in the textbook. So children, I'm sure that you have your textbook open, page number 5959. So if you are not ready, you can just pause the video and keep your book ready. So our first question is, fill in the blanks with the words from the text. Number 1. Mary was called dash at home. Mary was only 3.5 years old when she could. Yes, let me take my pen to write the answer. Okay. Mary was called. So what was her pet name? Manya. Manya. She was called Manya at home. And number 2, Mary was only 3.5 years old when she could, yes, she could read. R-E-A-D, read fluently. F-L-U-E-N-T-L-Y, fluently. So Mary was only 3.5 years old. She could read fluently. Now children, if you are thorough with the lesson, any type of questions you can easily answer because readily the options are given to you. You just have to click the right answer. So read the lesson again and again and again and be thorough with the lesson. So no need of studying this filling the blanks, these activities, this answer the following, nothing. Just be thorough with the lesson. Yes, very good. Now we'll move on to the question number 3. So Mary's mother was the dash of a girls' school. What was she? Yes, she was a headmistress. Number 4. When Mary was very young, her dash came to stay home. Her uncle. Okay, now where's my pen? Okay, Mary's mother was the headmistress. Headmistress. Headmistress of a girls' school. So when Mary was young, her uncle, it is mother's brother, we call them as uncle. Okay, now quickly copy the questions. If you have not copied, just pause the video and do write the answer. Okay, the next one is, during her childhood, Poland was dashed by Russian force. Poland was occupied by Russian force. OCCUPIED. It was occupied by the Russian force. Okay, now next question is reference to context. Oh no, sorry. So we'll give here, find the antonyms of the following. Antonyms means, yes, the opposites. Okay. Tiny means very small, and the opposite is HUGE, huge. Fearless, frightened, very fearful. So FRIGHTENED, frightened. And mentally slow, genius. So like you or GENIUS, genius. And what's the next question? Calm. It is not calm, it is comedy, COMIDY, comedy. So comedy opposite is tragedy, TRAGEDY, tragedy. And lazy is active, or you can write diligent. So you have to learn a new words. DILIGE, diligent. Imperfect, flawless, FLAWLESS. So this is W. Okay, and next we'll move on to the next one. Okay, who would you say these lines? Who would you say these lines? Choose from the given words. Politician. So, you all know who is the politician who always talk about the elections. Chess player, our grandmasters. Dentists who always look into our mouth and do the treatment. Vet or veterinary doctors who see the animals. Film directors, you are very familiar with the movies. And photographer who always click the photos, right? So who would you say these lines? Number 1, I don't like looking in mouths all day. Yes, what is the answer? I don't like looking in mouths all day. So answers are given here. So he is none other than dentist, DINIST, dentist. Okay, now next one. So I'm not going to show you the answers again and again. So already you have in your textbook. If you want to give the answers, you can see the textbook and give the answer. Otherwise, it is very simple. I know you all are very genius to give the answers, right? Okay, let me take my pen again. Okay, number 2. Sometimes the animals bite me, though I'm trying to help them. Yes, it is though I. This is AM. Okay, so sometimes the animals bite me. So who is always with the animals? Yes, of course, it is a vet. Vet means veterinary doctor. Number 3, I'm happy to be behind the camera, thinking about the next shot. He's a photographer or film director. So he's been thinking about the next shot. He's behind the camera. So he is none other than, yes, he is none other than photographer. Okay, now good going. Now we'll move on to question number 4. My lenses are so important to me. We wrote the answer wrong here. Oh, where is my eraser? I'm happy to be behind the camera thinking about the next shot. Who is he? Is he a photographer? No, he is not a photographer. He is, yes, he's film director. So he is behind the, yes, somebody told me the answer. Very good. So you're paying attention to what I'm writing. Very good, children. So let me see. I'll tell you who told me the answer in the end of this video. Now let's go to the next question. So my lenses are so important to me. So here he is a photographer. So PHOTOGRAPHER, photographer. So he's a photographer. Number 5, there is another election next year. Yes, we know the answer. What is that? Another election. Who talks about the election? Yes, of course, he's a politician. So POLITICIAN, politician. So he's a politician. And we have one more questions, I think. Okay, so you are not completed, so just pause the video and complete the answer, copy the answer. And number 6, it takes years of practice. It takes a lot of years to practice to become a grandmaster. So who is the grandmaster? Yes, our chess champion. So he is a chess player. So grandmaster, chess player. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate articles. So what are the articles? A, am, or the. Okay, gold is a precious metal. Okay, the king of our kingdom is honorable man. So here H, so H is silent, so it is start with the honorable. It is O. O is in, yes, vowel, so we have to use A and an. Dash is a tiger. Dash tiger is the national animal of India. The THE, the tiger is the national animal of India. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Honest men always speak, yes, the truth. Like you, kids. So honest kids, honest men always speak the truth. Arrow is dash young boy. Arrow is a and boy. Paris is dash capital of France. So Paris is the capital of France. Okay, now what is our next question? Choose the correct option. So this is the yours, your. So all these are possessive pronouns. So this is my pen. And where is yours? Where is yours? Y-O-U-R-S. So this garden is mine. Have you got any garden of yours? So Y-O-U-R-S. Yours. And the next one, my car goes really fast. What about? What about yours? Is he not a friend of yours? And let's move on to the next question. A cousin of mine, M-I-N-E, mine works abroad. And number 6, once I lent him a book of dash of mine. Book of mine, and never got it back. Okay. Now children, we have the reference to context, which is very easy. So I just want to discuss the answer. So it's page number 60, B question. So question number 1 is a disease that spreads mainly through germ infected air when somebody who already has a disease coughs or sneezes. So which disease? Yes, it is a tuberculosis. Which disease? It is a tuberculosis. So if you are thorough with your lesson, you can close your eyes and tell the answer. So which disease is dangerous? Yes, tuberculosis. Who was the somebody who gave the infection? It was Mary's uncle who gave the infection. And what else is said about the disease? It was incurable. The disease was incurable. In those days, there was no medicines found. It was not invented at all. So the tuberculosis was a disease which was incurable. Number 2, after each such ordeal, Mary would weep in the arms of Miss Tupelska. Tupelska is teacher, Mary's teacher. So after each such ordeal means after a lot of stress or strain. So what was the ordeal? So it was she has to prepare the answers for the whole school. And why would Mary weep? Because it was a big strain on Mary to cover up for the whole school. And who was Miss Tupelska? She was Mary's teacher. Mary felt intense pressure to do similarly well. Number 3. So why was Mary under pressure? Because Mary's sister topped in her school. So she also wants to be the same. And what did she do to the similarly well? So Mary also studied very hard like her sister. Did Mary succeed? Yes. How do you know? Because she was awarded with a gold medal. So it is very simple. Read the lesson again and again, and all the best for your upcoming exam. Bye bye children.